back to the Culturally Distinct Podcast, guys. It's your boy, DJ KO. I'm glad you guys tuned back into the show. Last week, we had a great show. I appreciate the two sisters that came on. We had a great conversation talking about business and relationships, which I think was a vital conversation. I love the conversation. I love the feedback that you guys gave. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you guys for telling a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend what's going on. Thank you for that. Also, I like to give a big shout out to my sponsor, 605 Infused Beverage. Much love to you guys. Make sure you guys go hit them up at Drink ALP6. It's hot right now in the South, so make sure you guys go pick that beverage up because you guys need it. Also, shout out to my partnership with Red Coral Network. I see you guys over there. We're doing some great things in the future. I appreciate hospitality and I appreciate the partnership. So, guys, you know, I always bring somebody special on this show, especially in terms of when we talk about business, when we talk about relationships in business, when we talk about people that look like us that's doing big things in the community. So this evening I have, first of all, I'm blessed because this individual has a busy schedule, and we had, technical difficulties, but, she blessed us with her presence, and I'm gonna try to get everything that I can in the short amount of time that I have with her. So I like everybody to welcome to the show, attorney Joi Hunt.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
There's my round of applause right there. So, Joi, could you give a quick bio of yourself so the people know who you are and how you get started in business?
Okay, my name is Joi. I've been a business attorney since 2004. I've been a full-time serial entrepreneur since about 2006, 2007. And I call myself your business bestie. I'm merging the legal and the business world together and trying to help people start, grow, and scale their businesses the correct way.
Okay, that's perfect. So let's jump right into it.
Okay, let's go.
So in 2000, and when was the pandemic? 2021, we would say?
2021.
So as you know, a lot of people started businesses to get that PPP loan, right? But they all started their business as a sole proprietor, right?
Correct.
So could you give me the definition, one, of a sole proprietor, an LLC, and an S Corp, and what's the difference between the three?
Okay. So a sole proprietor is what we don't want to be. A sole proprietor is just you doing business. Where are my cups? Let me get my cups. Hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
So if you are a sole proprietor, that means that you're doing business as yourself. So that means your house is doing business. The money in your personal account is doing business. Your car is doing business. It's just you out here in these business streets with no protection. That's what a sole proprietor is. Another name for a sole proprietor will be a DBA. Mm-hmm. Don't be asked out is what I like to call it. But we do not want to be a sole proprietor or a DBA, okay? We want to have an entity structure. You can have an LLC or you can have a corporation. What an LLC or corporation does is it separates you from your business. So when you're doing business, you're not affecting your home, your money in your bank, your car, any of your assets. Just the business is being exposed when doing business, being exposed to liability. So you have your sole proprietor, you have your LLC or a limited liability company, and then you have a corporation, which will be a C Corp, okay? An S Corp is not going to be a business structure, meaning you don't form an S Corp with the Secretary of State. An S Corp is going to be a tax election. So with the state, you form your business entity. With the IRS, you're taxed. Okay, so with the state, you're going to be either an LLC or a corporation. Over with the IRS, you're going to say, hey, IRS, although I'm an LLC or although I'm a corporation, I want you to tax me as an S Corp. So an S Corp is just a tax election. You don't pay a 15.3% self-employment tax, like if you were an LLC. On the C Corp side, you're not going to be taxed double. So a C Corp gets taxed when the corporation earns the money, and they pay a second tax when they pay the money to the owner or the shareholders. Okay, so it's called double taxation. So C Corps don't want that double taxation. They're going to ask to be taxed as an S Corp. And LLC doesn't want that self-employment tax. They're going to be asked to be taxed as an S Corp. But to be an S Corp, one of the owners has to be on payroll, with payroll taxes being taken out, paid to the IRS every 2 weeks. And now the S Corp is going to file a separate tax return. A business tax return is going to run you between $750 and $2,000, depending on how complex the return. So the tax savings don't normally go into effect until you're at that maybe $50,000 or $60,000 in profit mark. Then you should talk to your CPA about converting over to being taxed as an S Corp.
So I know, so we're going fast here. We're going real fast. I see this.
Okay.
You're a pro. Because the average person, when they start a business, the first thing they're going to start is an LLC.
Correct.
Correct. So
Correct.
you mentioned something about the 15% tax when getting the S Corp or C Corp, correct?
LLCs pay a 15.3% self-employment tax on profit.
Could you talk about that? Because a lot of people don't realize once they get an LLC and have a legitimate business with the Secretary of State, they don't know that they have to pay a 15% tax for the LLC. So could you kind of explain that a little?
So there is a silent business partner to all businesses called the I, the R, and the S. Okay, and you are going to have to pay. Well, there's different taxes that you will pay. There's sales taxes, there's franchise taxes, there's state taxes. But when it comes to the federal government, there's going to be income taxes. And so whatever is the profit of the business, income taxes. Well, you have your income tax, which would be based on the percentage of how much your profit is, but there's a self-employment tax. So if you're a W-2 worker, then you get a paycheck, and your FICA, your Medicare, social, all that's already taken out of your check. Well, if you're not on a paycheck, the government doesn't get that money. So they take that at the end of the year in that self-employment tax. So whatever are your profits, besides paying an income tax, you're going to now pay a 15.3% self-employment tax on top of that.
Got you. Now that sounds good.
So, right. So once you get around that $60,000, $80,000 profit, meaning after you pay all of your business bills, that's what's left over. That's when you want to think about converting over to an S Corp, or else you're going to get hit with a really big tax bill.
Right. So now, fast forward. Now we got the business. We have the LLC. So now we're trying to establish the business. So in the business, a lot of people don't realize that most businesses operate in what we call business credit. Right. But a lot of people don't know how to get business credit because they think, okay, well, I have a business. What's the tax term? They have a business that's not profitable. So they take a loss, so they use their personal expenses, right? So, but they don't know how to maintain or get business credit. So how does a person even maintain business credit?
Business credit will first start with your business structure. So we need to have a registered business, so an LLC or a corporation. We need to make sure that we're filing the annual report to keep the LLC or corporation active. Then we're going to make digital footprints. Okay, so when the lender, the financial institution, when they Google your business name, what pops up? Something needs to pop up. Okay, post all of this PPP and pandemic fraud. They are requiring you to one, have a business address. So when they Google your address, what structure is going to pop up. It needs some kind of corporate building needs to pop up, not the post office, not a P.O. box, not the UPS store, and not your house or your apartment. Okay. So if you don't have a brick and mortar or a storefront, you can look into getting a virtual address. You need to have a website. You need to have business social media. You need to have a Google My Business business page. So if you go to Google My Business, they have business pages where people can go and leave those Google reviews. You need to make sure that you claim your Google page for your business. And then you need to get something called a D&B number or a DUNS number, Dun & Bradstreet. Dun & Bradstreet is going to be the largest business credit bureau. Okay, so once you get your DUNS number, you can then start establishing credit. I call it in the 3 tiers. So you have to go through elementary, junior high, and high school. You're going to go through tier 1, which will be your net 30 vendors. Vendors that are going to give your business solely on your EIN, not you being a PG or personal guarantor. They're going to give your business credit. They're going to allow you to buy something and give you an invoice, and then you can pay that invoice in 30 days. There are certain people or certain vendors that will do this and give your business a trade line. Once that's reporting to your business credit report, then you'll go to tier 2, which would be your store credit card. So Sam's Club, Office Depot, Home Depot, Lowe's, a credit card that can be used at a specific store. Once you establish some trade lines there, now we can go to tier 3, which would be our cash credit card. So American Express, Capital One, Chase. Once we get through that, we can then go to the bank. So line of credit, a loan, or vehicle financing. But you have to go in that order. You can't skip around or you'll get denials.
So what are some mistakes that people make in, I guess, starting to get business credit, but trying to spend too early? What are some mistakes people have in doing that?
I think the biggest mistake that people have when trying to get business credit is people just think that I just need funding. I need funding. I need funding. I need funding. And they don't have a plan. Like to start to run a business, you got to have inventory, a product or a service that you're selling. And then what is the marketing plan? How are you getting your product or your service to these people? So people just think, I need funding, I need funding, I need funding. But then when you get the money, if there's some customers to buy your clothes, well, now the inventory is just sitting here, and now we have a monthly bill that you're not going to be able to pay. So the first thing is they think they need all this funding before doing the hard legwork and what I call master P'ing it in, getting out there in the grit and grime. You may look a little bootleg, but getting you a customer base, knowing, yes, my customer likes this thing, or yes, my customer likes this service, before you spend all this money on product number 1, but then you realize nobody wants number 1, they want number 2, but now you're out of money.
Right.
The second big mistake is people who are in a high-risk industry. So trucking, real estate, construction, CBD, tax preparation, car dealership, credit repair. They either choose that industry when they're getting their EIN for that NAICS code, or they put that industry in their LLC or their corporate name. So if you have a high-risk industry, you'll be flagged, it's either going to be you're going to get a lower approval amount, or you're going to get denied.
So
a big red flag. Go ahead.
No, I'll ask you again, the high risk industry. You said trucking, you said CBD, you said, what else did you say? Construction. So these are high risk to the bank. Okay.
These industries are either a high likelihood of bankruptcy or chargebacks. So banks really don't want to really get in bed with these kind of industries.
Got you. Okay, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I started one of my businesses, actually it was a trucking business, and I was applying for American Express because I have American Express for my other ones, but they kept denying me. I'm like, I have the capital, and they kept denying me, I guess, because I didn't know it was a high risk company. So
right. that's high risk.
So also, now, once the business is established, you have the LLC, you have the business credit. What are some ways to protect your business? Because a lot of us are just learning this thing, and it's through the internet. We're learning, how to leverage our business. So, my first question is, how do you protect your business? And my second question is, how do you leverage that?
You protect your business by, one, making sure that it's structured properly.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have maybe multiple locations, that should be multiple LLCs. You don't want to get your pot of gumbo too full. Okay. We don't want to get one LLC and run 6 DBAs underneath this one LLC, because if I have Joy's Barbecue, Joy's Lashes, and Joy's Clothing all in one LLC, and maybe someone gets sick from a separate entity, LLC or corporation, you need to make sure that your corporate veil can't get pierced, so that you're running your business like a real business. So we're not swiping that business check card at Walmart. We're not getting a haircut with it. We're not doing personal bills with it. We have a business bank account. We're not commingling personal and business funds. That the business is capitalized. So it's not just always running at a negative. Business needs to have operating expenses, in the account. Depending on your industry, making sure that you have insurance. There's general liability insurance, errors and omissions. There's, different types of insurance, but running it like it's Walmart. That's how you make sure that you protect yourself.
Well, a lot of things, like you said, they're running like it's Walmart. A lot of people know how Walmart is ran. They just know that
they don't. Well, does Walmart allow you to cash out at the register?
Does it? I don't know. It does.
They don't.
They don't.
They don't.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't been to Walmart in a while, so I don't know.
Can I go to the register and tell the cashier, "Ooh, I only have $50. Can you just change the price on this?"
No, they're definitely not doing that.
Okay. So, right, Walmart is accepting cash. They're accepting check cards. You're not cash apping Walmart. We're not going to Venmo Walmart. Walmart's putting all the money in the business bank account. Half the money at night is not going underneath the mattress. So running it like Walmart is running it like a real business. No matter how small you feel your business is, every million or billion-dollar business has started in someone's garage, apartment, dorm room. They all start small. So it's not how you start, it's where you finish. So, but we have to start with the proper structure. So as long as you're running it like it's a real business, is the CEO of Walmart paying his mortgage from the Walmart bank account? He's not. He's going to transfer those funds to his personal account. Just run it like a business. So, if you don't know how Walmart's ran, I'm sure everyone has worked at a business before.
So let's talk about this. Let's talk about a trust, because I heard that if you get a trust, you kind of protect yourself from all your assets. Is that true, or is caveats to
that? A trust is a vehicle that is used to protect assets. Yes.
Is it wise to use it for your businesses? For instance,
it all depends on what you're trying to do. So if you have assets, so if you own real estate, if you own vehicles, if you own property, you can put your business in a trust. You can either put your business in a trust, or you can put assets of your business in a trust. If you put assets in a trust is like once you park it, it needs to stay there. Okay. Where another vehicle that you could use would be a holding company. A holding company is just going to be an LLC, and you can put your assets there. Depending on how your business goes, you may need to zig and zag. You may need to move some things over here. Maybe we're trying to get, qualified for a loan. So maybe you may need to, stack some assets over here. It's easier to kind of zig and zag out of an LLC versus you don't have that same leverage when you're talking about a trust. So I always say, if you're interested in a trust, talk to an estate planning attorney in your state.
So I didn't know that you couldn't move stuff in and out of your trust once you get it. I thought it was more of just the name to protect the asset. But I didn't know that
There's different types of trust. Okay. If you want a trust that's going to bulletproof your assets, it's going to be an irrevocable trust. Meaning once that asset goes in there, it's gone and you have no control over it. You have to appoint someone else that controls the trust. So you don't have any control over that trust. That's the bulletproof one. If you're in a business and you need to maybe move some things around, that may not work for you. So there's a whole lot of different things out here. It's just, picking the vehicle that's best for you.
Got you. So now we talked about the business, the structure of the business, vehicles to I guess get your business going. So also, this is a topic that I talk about it a lot, and I don't really go into detail because it's kind of hard to explain. I'm talking about contracts, state, local, and federal contracts, but for your business.
Every business needs to have a non-disclosure agreement.
Okay.
So an NDA. So if you are going to talk to someone about a potential business idea, right? I have this idea, you have the money, I'm coming to you so we can maybe, collab. We don't, sometimes the millions is in the idea, it's not the execution, right?
Gotcha.
For example, years ago, they had Kimoji, where Kim Kardashian had her own emojis. That wasn't her idea. A guy came to her with the idea, hey, what about if we make your face a whole bunch of emojis? He gave her all the pictures and gave her the idea, but he didn't have her sign anything. He just gave her the idea. And she says, hey, great idea. Let me go trademark my name and let me go do your idea, and basically cut him out of the deal. Well, is it bad business? That's business. If you don't protect yourself, you're about to get asked out. So a non-disclosure agreement is going to say, hey, I'm bringing you this idea. If you like it, we can do business together. If you don't like it, you can't do anything that resembles this because I brought it to you. So if she went on ahead and did Kimoji, he could have sued her and got all that money. If you have employees or independent contractors working for you and they're around your client list, your vendors, if you make something and they're around your blueprints, if you create something and they're around your recipe, well, we don't want them taking, if I have Joy's Peach Cobbler, I don't need to hire someone at $10 an hour who's going to, make my recipe for me, look at my recipe book, steal my recipe and go sell it to my competitor.
Right.
Or I don't need my $10 an hour employee taking my recipe and, setting up shop across the street and competing with me. Okay. So a non-disclosure agreement is going to say, hey, you are going to be around my trade secrets, my vendor list, my clients. You're going to see how things are ran, how I do things. All of these things must stay within the business. Okay, so a non-disclosure agreement kind of just protects you for your business ideas, your trade secrets, how things work, whether it's in your business or potential investor, business partner, blah, blah, blah. Every business needs to have a copyright transfer agreement, and I have all these contracts on my website. So when you get your logo design, you actually don't own your logo. Whoever creates the content owns it. So although I'm going to hire someone on Fiverr or hire a graphic designer to do my logo, they still technically own my logo. Okay. Mm-hmm. There's a case that's still being litigated right now out of Atlanta called Sweetwater Brewery, where 30 years ago, a beer company hired a family friend to design their logo. 30 years later, they just sold for $300 million. Well, what do you think that family friend did? Filed a lawsuit. Hey, I own that logo. We want $30 million, right? When you're first starting and no one knows about you, this is the time to get everything signed and dotted because nobody's worried about you. The second you start making a name for yourself and making a brand, now all of a sudden, people want to now take money from you. So you want to get a copyright transfer agreement that's telling the graphic designer that you are giving me the interest in the item that you created. If you have a photographer doing pictures, if you have a videographer doing a video for you, whoever creates the content in copyright law, they own it. So although you pay the photographer $500 to do these photos, he still owns the copyright in that. So I always say, whenever you're getting work done for you, make sure that someone signs a copyright transfer agreement. So we have the NDA, we have a copyright transfer agreement. Every LLC needs to have an operating agreement. That's going to be the contract for the business, how things are ran. It's a corporate formality. If you're getting sued, the first thing opposing counsel is going to do is they're going to subpoena your operating agreement, and you need to have one. If you have multiple owners, the operating agreement will also serve as like your partnership agreement. Those would be the top 3 contracts I would say that every business needs to have.
So you said something about trademark and copyright, right? What's the difference? Isn't it the same thing?
No. Copyright is going to be for, copyright will be for written work. Trademarking is that no one can use that name or that slogan in the US of A.
Got you. So the good thing is, we talking business, but I never asked you, how did you even get into the business, right? So
you know what? I worked for well, my dad was an entrepreneur. He had his own tax firm. So I grew up, you know, seeing the entrepreneurial life. But you know, my parents said, you know, go to school, get you a good job. So I got that good job. And maybe 90 days in, I was like, this little 6 figures is nothing. I was seeing what I was being billed at versus what I was making. And I felt like I'm only going to make this salary. Like, I don't care how much I crush it. Like, I'm capped right here. So I don't like a ceiling feeling. So I was like, I need to do my own thing, because if I go out on my own, like, the sky's the limit. So I saved up for I gave myself 6 months of living expenses. Like, something got shaken 6 months. So I just quit, started the Hunt Law Group.
But okay, so no, it sounds easier said than done, because a lot of people do the same, right? A lot of people try to save. A lot of people try to go into a business to say, okay, well, this is how I plan on doing it, but starting it off, it doesn't go to plan. So how?
Well, you asked me what I did.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying that I recommend that everyone do this. This is what, see, I thrive in pressure.
Okay.
So if my back's against the wall, I'm coming off like that. That's where I thrive at. So if you are not a big risk taker, I would say work your 9 to 5 and work your business from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. and on the weekends. See, everyone wants to start their business, you know, with the office space and the bill. Like, baby, master P it. Okay, so start in your house, start in your kitchen. Like, when I first started, when I first started my practice, I had 6 months of living expenses. I didn't want to pay office space. This guy, what I did business structure for corporations. I would fly Monday through Thursday, different city every day, telling corporations why their structure is wrong, and I would be restructuring them with all this stuff. I talk about holding companies and parent. I did all this for over a year for major corporations. This guy at my church knew what I did, and he wanted to sit down with me, and he wanted me to do his package. But this consultation starts at $10,000, right? So I told him, well, I don't want your money. I said, I knew where his office was. I said, give me 6 months in one of your offices. Let me work out of one of your offices, and I will do everything. I will do the whole structure package for free if we can barter services.
Okay.
So I didn't have any rent for the Hunt Law Group, right? Now I have to just go make it rain. I have to go out there and get the business. So no one's interested in LLCs or corporations back in 2005. That was like, what's that? So I had to go be a criminal attorney. So
Meaning?
I'm cute.
Meaning, what that mean?
I had to go defend. I had to go defend DUIs.
I got you.
So I will go to where I'm at the club three nights a week in my suit, passing out my card. I'm cute. I'm an attorney. Boom, 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 boom. I will go to court every morning, not having a case, just walking into the courtroom, just walking around. When I walk in, my asset was I was cute. Okay, so I'm gonna walk in. When I walk out, someone's going to follow me. Who's in court? The baby mamas, the girlfriends, the sisters. So they're gonna be, hey, I saw you at the club last night. You're that attorney. Let me get your card. So you have to be able to go out and get the business. I will be at the strip club. I found the hottest strip club in Houston, Texas. Walked up there one night, and I told the owner, how can I get my picture in the back of all the bathroom stalls? So when you're in the bathroom at the strip club, and maybe everything is going on in the strip club, my name is there. So when you get caught for prostitution, when you get caught with the intent to distribute, my pictures, you are seeing my name, you're seeing my number. So that's how I was able to, rustle up money to start. And you have to keep on the grind. So everywhere I'm walking around, I'm having a Hunt Law Group polo. I believe in looking your best. So I'm always getting stopped. Everyone always thought I did hair. No, I don't do hair. I'm an attorney. If you need some, back then we had business cards, like a little card for our little, millennials, a card that had your name, number, email, website. My goal was I got to pass out 15 cards a day. I'm at get my nails done. If you need an attorney, here's my card. I'm at the grocery store. Oh, girl, I can hear. Oh, here's I got to pass my card out. So if you're not willing to go out there and get that money, make it rain, then you need to work your 9 to 5, and then you work your business part-time. Don't just quit your job and do a Hail Mary and think it's just gonna shake, because it's not just gonna shake. You have to really be a hustler out here.
So you have basically a hustler's spirit, but you had a plan, because from what I'm taking from it, you understood marketing. And marketing was one of those topics back then. People just started talking about marketing, but like you say, you was in strip clubs. You understood that I'm gonna leverage the way I look to get what I need, so I can fund this. So when did you decide to say, okay, well, I'm gonna stop being a criminal attorney to become a business attorney? Like what switched in your mind to say, okay, I don't want to do this no longer. I want to do this now.
I never switched.
Oh, you was always.
So I went from criminal, and then once my criminal practice grew, I picked up more business things, because maybe like around 2011, 2012, people would just ask me questions, or people were just doing things wrong. I started helping people. Well, you don't have your LLC, you don't have this. So the business people came, but then I got pregnant, married, stopped practicing law altogether, started selling hair, saw the movie Good Hair, never knew that there was money in hair extensions, started a 10-salon franchise between Texas and Louisiana, did that for a while, started a car dealership, collision shop, sold insurance. I'm always into what is the demand? Like where do I see a demand? What industry is evolving next?
So hold up. So you telling me that you was an attorney, and while being an attorney, you started a hair company, an auto shop, and was an agent, insurance agent? How did you have
I
time
was
to?
an attorney. Oh, at one time I was an attorney. I had my tax practice and I had 10 salons all at the same time. Well, no, not the 10 salons. Attorney and tax practice, had one salon. I saw how much more money I could make. So I stopped practicing law and did the salons, did 10 salons. But the salons, dependent on someone to provide the service. I didn't like that. That's when I got into selling cars because I could sell the car. I don't need someone to sell the car. So whenever I do an industry, I like to do ancillary things around it. So car dealership with a collision shop, sold insurance. So it's all kind of like the car industry got out the beauty industry. When COVID hit, people would always ask me about doing an LLC and how I start my business and blah, blah, blah. I never really had time, but when COVID hit, I started, talking to people, doing LLCs, and I was like, let me just do it for real, and stop sending this Hotmail account. Now let me just, form an entity and just start doing this for real. So I really just started doing what I did for the firm with my own company, just teaching the same thing and just kind of teaching it in a fun way so people can understand what it is that I'm saying. Because if I just talk to you like you're in law school, it's boring, this is what an LLC is. I try to make it like a little fun while you still learn what you need to do to protect yourself.
So in having all these businesses at one time, what are some mistakes that you made that you learned from that?
Growing too fast.
Okay, you scaled the business too fast.
So sometimes sometimes the business will grow too fast for the structure that you have. So our salons took off like crack. We couldn't keep hair in stock. We had people would drive 2-3 hours. On Saturdays, it'd be a 2-hour line just to get in our salon. We had 5 in the Houston area. Then we had in Shreveport, Beaumont, Lake Charles. I'm missing somebody. Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge, okay.
But we just grew too fast. It was too many employees. I could not find someone that could duplicate me. Mm-hmm. So I'm having to man, all these girls at all these different locations. And, girls are a little, it's pettiness. She looked at me. It's like, baby, just come here and make this money. Like, I don't care who looked at who, but it was just a lot. So one, growing too fast before having either the structure or the manpower to handle all of the growth.
Got you.
Another mistake, I would say, I learned this the hard way, y'all. You have to be a boss. You cannot be a boss and a friend. Fire fast, hire slow. This person needs to go. They are not following protocol, but I know she don't have no money saved up to pay her rent. I know she got these 2 kids, and I'm gonna just carry her, for another 60 days because I know I need to just cut it. So making myself bleed, trying to be nice when, in business, you just can't be nice. It's just business. So firing too slow is another problem. You need to fire as soon as you see it's not a fit, let it go, because all it's going to do is cost you more at the end. Hiring friends and family and not having these signed contracts in the beginning. See, all the stuff I talk about, I don't just be saying stuff. I've lived it all. Like, oh, I don't need to put her on a contract. We've been friends for baby. Everyone needs to be on a contract, because the person you think is your ride or die, that's the person that's going to take your client list and start the other business down the street. Luckily, I just make business look easy, baby. Go ahead, do this. You're gonna bankrupt yourself doing this because you can't do what I do, right? And we had a client, we had a manager who started with us, took our entire client database, took half our stylists, and opened up shop about 20 minutes down the road. Wow. Now, when she don't understand when payroll come, ain't no one working for free, right? So she missed one good payroll. All the stylists, came right back real quick. But, had she been like a real business person with some real money, she could have put me under. Luckily, I was the stronger business. But I'm like, dang, I didn't think I had to everyone gets a contract. It's just business. There is no family. There's no friends. It's just put your mama on the contract. Everyone needs to be on contract. That non-disclosure agreement, everyone needs to have it. Yes.
That's important because, like you said, we have our friends, cousins, family, business, mother, father, and like, oh no,
all that.
We so used to that bartering system and that trust system. Is like, well, don't worry about that. That's your grandmother or that's your mother.
They worry about it. I'm telling you, worry about it.
Okay, so
that's worry about it.
Wow. So, and I know you got to go. So I'm gonna hit you with this last question. So, for someone that doesn't have the expertise or the information and they want to come to you for consultation, so how does that take place? How can they get in contact with you? What are some fees they look forward to? Could you kind of go into that?
Okay, so you can go to my website, thefirmcbgroup.com. That's C as in car, B as in boy, or you can go to my Instagram, Joi Hunt _ESQ. I have a 30-minute consultation for $150 and an hour consultation for $250. I have a business structure consultation. I have a grant bundle. I got a business structure webinar. I got a holding company masterclass. I got legal contract templates. Whatever you need for your business, I got something for you on my website. So if you can't afford me right now, put me in your budget for the future. Google what I'm talking about. Follow my Instagram page. I do a lot of lives where I give a lot of information out for free because, growing up in my heyday, I didn't have a mentor. I had to kind of learn all of this the hard way, by just making a whole lot of mistakes. So I try to, speak freely and kind of give a lot of information out for free. So I have a YouTube page. I have an Instagram page. If you just follow me and watch my videos, you will learn a lot.
So, and I appreciate you for giving me the time because you just gave me almost $2 million worth of game, $3 million worth of game. And whoever is listening, look, guys, that's why I did the podcast because I said I saw the sister on Instagram. I was like, she's speaking some real talk because you run into people that they sound good, but they don't know what the hell they're doing. But
right.
I was checking you out. I was like, okay, she knows what she's doing because I kind of teach this too. I was like, okay, I want to get her on the show. So now, as you guys can see, Joi gave you guys $5 million worth of game, like easy, quick game. So it's up to y'all. The ball is in your court, right? So guys, before we get out of here, Joi, I want to ask you this about a business grant because I didn't know that businesses could receive grants. I thought they only could get loans. So how can a business receive a grant?
A business can receive a grant by one, having an LLC or a corporation. They have to have an EIN number and a business bank account for the money to go in. Businesses and organizations are giving businesses money that's going to help them make money. Okay, so think of it like this. Whoever's giving away the money is getting the money from someone, right? And what they're looking for at the end of the year is some kind of aha story. So what did you do with the money? Oh my gosh, I was able to, get a brick and mortar location. I was able to get a second location. I was able to, increase my sales by 30%. I was able to go overseas and, buy my inventory at a larger. They're looking for an aha. So when you're asking for things for your business, what is going to make you money? Okay. Marketing will make you money. Payroll for additional staff will make you money. Equipment, remodeling expenses, inventory or buying your inventory in bulk. Don't ask for things like operating expenses. Operating expenses is not going to make you money. okay? Catching up on bills, you know, paying up my rent. That's not going to make you money. So when you're looking for a grant, what can your business use right now to make more money? If I sell this shirt, but the shirt costs me $10 and I'm selling it for 20, I'm making $10 a shirt. If I were to buy the same shirt though over in China, I can get this shirt for $2 versus $10. But I got to buy in a larger quantity, right? So I can make more money instantly by going overseas and buying in a larger quantity, but I need this upfront capital to be able to do this. Maybe I am making something and I'm at home and I'm booked and busy and I need to be able to be in some kind of commercial kitchen or have some staff help me make whatever I'm making, because I'm getting some big orders. I have some orders from the hospital, some accounting firms, some big corporations want my treats, and I need to mass produce them. So I need to either get bigger equipment or more staff. Things that will show the grant reviewer that this is going to make my business money. And then having a detailed budget. Like, I believe, you know, you have to make your business stand out, right? So when you're doing your budget, don't just give me everything 0, 0, 500, 1,500. You just freestyle. Give me $1,523. If you give me a detailed budget like that, when I look at it, I know, oh, you really priced everything out versus 1,200, 300, 200. Are you guesstimating? You know, what are you doing? I always believe you have to put your best foot forward. My dad was, he grew up in San Antonio, Texas. He was, my dad's, he's in his 80s. So he was one of the first kids that were in the desegregation of schools in Texas, right?
Oh, wow.
So I grew up with that, you know, with this slave, like, you are Black, you are behind the 8 ball, you got to be 10 times as better as your counterpart just to be, I grew up in that era, right? So have a branded email address. Don't ask somebody for some free money and I am joy@gmail.com or CEO@gmail.com. Like, you cannot have a Gmail account and people take your business seriously. You know, have a website. If it's just a one-page website, but at least give me a www. something. If you're coming to this organization asking for free money, at least show me you invested by having an LLC, a branded email address that won't cost you more than $20, and a domain name that's going to cost you $10. Like, invest in yourself before you ask somebody else to invest in you, and that's going to also make you stand out from the competition.
Got you. You just went from 5 million to 10 million.
I'm gonna send my invoice.
Send invoice. But guys, man, look, Joe, I promise you, look, this is a blessing to me, man. And you know, that's why I say I believe in God, because I was like, I was seeking someone to talk about business, and I just didn't want anybody. And you know, God sent me you. So I was like, I appreciate it. I thank
no
you.
problem.
Thank you for
no
that.
Problem.
Before we get out of here, I want you to give the people your information one more time. How could they find you if they need any information?
Okay, you can find me on Instagram at Joi Hunt, so JOIHUNT_ESQ, or on my website at thefirmcbgroup.com.
There you go, guys. There you have it. I appreciate you guys who tuned in. If you didn't get nothing from this, shame on you. If you have any questions for me or Joy, make sure you reach out to Joy. You know how to get in contact with me at Culturally Distinct. We're everywhere. Also, shout out to my partners, my business partners. Shout out to my sponsors. We got a lot of great things, a lot of great guests coming to the Culturally Distinct podcast, you guys. I appreciate you guys. I got a word of the day, Joy. Every
okay,
episode,
what's the word of the day?
Right? Every episode I have a word of the day, right?
Okay.
But before I leave, I wanted to say in your background, I was looking for a red pillow, but I couldn't see one.
No, you wasn't looking for a red pillow. No, you wasn't. No, you wasn't.
So the word of the day is: don't get hurt, and don't get caught. And don't get caught.
Don't get hurt and don't get caught. Okay.
There it is, guys. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. This is DJ KO with the Culturally Distinct podcast. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Have a good one.
Bye.